the background, like the 2D backgrounds, are a lot more detailed, a lot scarier. Like in the first one, it's just like everything's just like a load of bare walls and everything. It's like a real bare bones kind of thing.
I was watching you play Resident Evil 1 recently, and it did look very. I remember 2's looking very like you're in the police station and there's like bits of paper everywhere, and
there's like broken glass and stuff.
Yeah, there's loads of detail everywhere. Whereas it does just look kind of. It looks like a kind of Lara Croft mansion or something. That first one, everything's just very blank looking.
It's just a load of squares. It's the least decorated mansion you've ever seen.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the game where you're most actually scared of the zombies, whereas like as the series goes on, it's more about being scared. It's like weird monsters. There's like I was saying, you get the thing where it's like all the boarded up windows and the zombies start crawling in through the windows, and there's a bit where you've got to use a wire, and you've only got one wire, and you can use to shut some windows to stop the zombies getting in.
What? So you can only shut so many windows at a time?
That's right.
Yeah.
When you got to use that, is a wire? You've only got one bit of fucking wire.
One bit of wire, or maybe it's a fuse.
You find more wire?
Maybe it's a fuse, and there's like electronic window shutters or something.
Right. Okay. So you got to carefully choose which windows you're going to have shut.
Yeah,
the others have to be open.
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite good.
Best thing about 2, or the scariest thing about 2, and also in the remake, I think is I think he's called Mr. X unofficially.
Yes.
The big grey guy who like constantly
follows you around, doesn't he?
Scariest thing I think remember in like any game almost is
you've told me about this.
There's a bit where what am I going to say?
Where it's the you're looking at like some CCTV footage, and it's a CCTV of a corridor you just walk down, and you see him walking down the corridor towards where you are.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is.
So you're like, oh shit, he's right behind me, and you got to turn around and start blasting.
Yeah.
He like burst through a wall, and you like quickly run out the door, and you're like running down the corridor. Like, that was a close one, and he burst through another wall right in front of you.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, in the remake, he can just like open doors, and he's he can't open the safe room door actually. He can't open the safe, or he can open, but he can just stick his head through and look round.
Yeah, that's right.
and then he's got to walk off. He's not allowed in the save room.
Resident Evil 2 save room is the only real theme that I remember from any of it. There's like one cop who's like slowly dying of the virus in a room, and he knows he's about to become a zombie. And then you leave him, and doesn't he like you hear the door lock behind you as you walk out. Yeah. And then when you come back in again, he's a zombie.
He kind of stands, he looks normal, and then he kind of stands up, and he like suddenly becomes more zombified in front of your face. It's like the one that focuses most on like the horror of everyone turning into zombies. You kind of see Raccoon City kind of collapsing, and there's still a couple of survivors dotted around who get killed.
Isn't the guy the police station chief guy? Doesn't he like puzzles? Isn't he some sort of eccentric?
Yeah, he's a P3DO, isn't he?
A what?
A P3DO, a pedophile, isn't he?
What is he?
A P3DO. I was just trying to dumb it down.
YouTube terms of service.
PDF file, yeah.
Yeah,
is he really?
I don't remember. I remember he's a crazy guy who.
And he's a serial killer.
He's filled the whole building full of like weird puzzles, just so that you have to solve all these puzzles. And he gets turned into a monster at some point.
P3DO file. What? He was a discontinued 90s games console, is he? He was a Laserdisc, was he? Whatever the fuck that was. Maybe Resident Evil 2 was the first one to do this. There's this constant thing of people just like randomly injecting themselves with shit that will turn them into a hideous monster, and it's like, why are you doing that? Because like I think
that's in all the games pretty much. It's like this will make me a superhero.
Well, are there any games where it makes sense? Because by the time you get to 5, they're just these like comic book villains just doing it without even bothering to come up with a proper motivation.
Well, it seemed to work for Wesker for a while at least. He was like bulletproof and could move like Neo from like bullet time.
So I think so. The idea is God, I'll become a god. They all want to become a god like Wesker, but they all become these giant, freaky eyeball monsters instead.
Yeah. But they seem happy with that most of the time. Which I could probably do without the constant door opening animations. I think in general.
These old games are always like, would you like to use the crank?
It's a green herb. Cranks. Would you like to pick up the green herb? Yes. You can't pick up the green herb because your inventory is full. Can I swap something in my inventory with the green herb? No, you cannot.
You can't at all. Yeah. There is a bit of emphasis on graphics because I know the new PlayStation 5 is out now, the PS5 Pro, and apparently that supports better ray tracing and things like that.
Man, no one notices this fucking ray tracing. I don't even know what it is.
That's the thing, you see. But this is one of the slogans that they're using to sell the new PlayStation 5 and things like that. So, but
I think I'd only notice if I stopped playing for a minute and then went to look at a puddle and go, oh yeah, the puddle does have proper reflections.
It's that
nice.
sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. It was all for going into outer space, and he fucked up the name. He came up with Space Force.
Space Force.
When there's Space Fleet and Starfleet all on the table.
Yeah.
And not only that, the crew are wearing jungle outfits, like jungle camo.
I don't even know what we're talking about at this point.
They're wearing jungle. The astronauts are wearing jungle camouflage.
Are we talking about
to
Donald
go
Trump
into
here?
outer space?
We're talking about Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, he wanted to
Yeah.
He wanted to have his own. He wanted to say like, "Oh yeah, I'll be like the space president. We're going to land on Mars and all of this." He had all these grand ideas, and like NASA were like, "Yeah, that's going to take 10 years." And like, no, I need it next week.
You know, in Resident Evil 3, the remake, at the end, to finish off the Nemesis once and for all, Jill is holding this gigantic railgun that is like 4 times her size and 5 times her own weight, and she's lifting this thing up and she blasts the Nemesis with it, which I think is ridiculous.
It's the first time you see Super Cyborg Wesker doing all this bullet time nonsense.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
With his cool sunglasses.
Yeah. But I think you see he's got like red eyes underneath it or something.
Does he wear all leather?
I don't think it's leather. I think it's more like black tactical gear.
It's tactical gear, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
He's a bit sort of gay looking, isn't he? Because he's got the blonde, he's sort of German gay. He's got the blonde slicked back hair.
It definitely looks like he'd like techno music.
Yeah, maybe has a few nipple piercings.
Well, it's kind of easy doing the remakes now. They've got all the engine and the kind of monster design set up, so they know what the game's supposed to look like. They just got to copy and paste everything.
That's one slightly lame thing about these remakes. They're all very vanilla, aren't they? They all look the same as each other.
They're definitely. I definitely think they're less memorable than the originals. You got Sheva. She's got her bikini outfit. Running around in. There's one in the first Revelations where she's got big boobs. She's got like a wetsuit that she's like zipped all the way down.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. She's wearing that in the snow.
She's got a hairstyle which would make her completely unable to see what's in front of her, sort of thing.
Right.
I remember in Revelations 1, the first woman you see that's killed on the floor, she's got a nice pair of boobs.
Dead woman
boobs.
Yeah,
she's dead, man, but her boobs are nice though, I'll tell you.
Right. It's like an ancient civilization, but this ancient civilization is somehow directly connected to a secret underground umbrella research facility.
Yeah, that's right, because of the special flower that grows there.
And then finally you get to Wesker.
And the lava stage in the volcano.
Yeah, well, first of all, there's a bit with lights. You got to shoot out the lights.
His sunglasses finally become like a weakness. You shoot out the lights and he can't see you anymore. So it's like he needs to rethink his whole fashion choice.
Sometimes I wonder if it's all worth it, and I think or whatever. But at the same time, there's nothing in the actual game itself.
Sometimes I have a deep thought and then it goes away.
But there's nothing in the actual game itself that would indicate that the world is worth saving. You know what I mean? It's just like horribleness, consistent horribleness from start to finish. There's no sense that he's got like a wife and kids somewhere that he's going to go back to.
When he says it's worth it, he's looking at like 2 hot chicks in the helicopter opposite him. So he's like, it's worth it.
Right, okay, yeah. That makes more sense, yeah. Does the Leon one start out in like a hospital or a university campus or something like that?
Yeah, he's like with the president.
He's with the president because the president's going to turn into a zombie.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and he has to shoot the president.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, and he's like, "Sorry, Mr. President." When Moira was young, she picked up a gun and killed her sister. And what's bizarre is why
did she kill her sister?
They were messing around with the gun.
Oh, okay.
and the gun went off.
Barry's got his iconic weapon is the Magnum.
The
So was
Magnum.
it? He probably just had loads of Magnums
Yeah.
lying around.
He
just loves
loaded Magnums.
Loves
Indeed.
Magnums.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Resident Evil Revelations 1, there's a slogan in it. Terror does not have to end with rest. Yeah, that was it. It was terror. Yeah, because the company's called Terror Save. So it was like, terror does not have to end with rest. I
Was
can't
that like
remember
a-
that part.
Was
But
was that like a corporate slogan? Did
yeah,
they pay some
yeah. It was in a
consultant to come up
cutscene.
with...
It was in a cutscene on the news channel.
The start of the series, it goes from like survival to action. So like the first game's all about survival, 6 is pure action. But then I think 7 and 8, they're all about the horror. They're all about trying to freak you out. And, and stuff.
there's a lot.
But then Chris kidnaps the baby, doesn't tell Ethan anything at
Yeah,
all.
it's your classic manufactured like drama thing,
Yeah.
where it's like would take Chris about 10 seconds to say,
Yeah.
"Oh, by the way, that's not really your wife," but he never
Precisely.
actually does it.
He never
just,
does.
There's no time to explain.
Yeah. I kind of want them to go back to their roots and just produce something that just scares the daylights out of people. I mean, the title is Resident Evil, which means evil is residence, which means horror.
It's Biohazard though, really. That's the original title.
You need a mansion and in that mansion, evil is resident.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
resident
yeah,
evil.
yeah,
It's a residence of evil.
It's
Yeah.
it's an evil residence.
Yeah.
yeah,
And then maybe the evil breaks out of the residence and infects all the regular people.
yeah.
The residents of this nearby city.
The residents, the evil,
residents become evil.
City residents. Village was you got the V and the I and the 3 I's.
Yeah,
in
that's
the,
right.
Like spelling out 8.
Yeah. What is it? IX?
Whatever. Yeah, IX. So you need to have
Ix.
IX in the title somewhere.
Like one of those Asterix characters.
Resident Evil
It can be.
Asterix.
It can be exactly Asterix and the Umbrella Corporation.